LT was at his menacing best whenever he spotted number 7 Ron Jaworski across the line of scrimmage. Despite Ron's league MVP and Super Bowl credentials, the Eagle quarterback could never escape the giant linebacker.
Great quarterback, and I think he was a great leader of men. But it was something about Ron, because at the time when I was in the league, when Ron was in the league, there was like, let's say 28 out of the 28 quarterbacks. He may have been the slowest. May have been. Ron was not going to do a whole lot of running.
Except running for his life from Lawrence Taylor. No other quarterback in the NFL has been pursued more fiercely or sacked more often by LT than Ron Jaworski.
The one thing that stands out is playing against the Giants, I always had to know where he was. I mean, the minute I walked out of the huddle, it was, where's LT? Where's LT? Where's LT? And I mean, I knew when he was coming. He'd give me that little grin, that little wink, you know, and I knew the darn guy was coming after me no matter where he was. We were playing the Giants up the Meadowlands in 1986, and now I've played against LT for a lot of years, and Buddy Ryan says, well, Byers going to block him, you know, we can handle him. And I'm thinking, you know, I'm talking to Ted Plum, our offensive coordinator, geez, why don't we slide the line? Why don't we get a tackle out on him? Oh, Buddy said that Keith Byers can block him. I said, I've played against this guy for 7 or 8 years now, and when he comes, nobody can block him. Well, I'll tell you, the game went on. I think the first time I dropped back, I got whacked in the side of the head. Second time he comes charging in there. Keith comes, charging at him. I mean, he's going to knock him down, and LT gives him the old lay and goes over him, sacks me. The third time he comes in, and I guess Keith is now thinking a little bit, well, I'm trying to switch up. He goes down to cut him. LT jumps 6 feet in the air over the top of him, drills me in the back again. I said, yeah, buddy, you did a heck of a job of really putting Keith Byers on him. The next game, we're playing the Giants. Buddy says, I think we're going to slide the line this time. I said, thank you, Coach.
At his New Jersey restaurant and sports bar, the good-natured Jaworski agreed to take one more bruising video stroll down memory lane with Lawrence Taylor.
You see a halfback picked him up. Giamone didn't do a good job, couldn't handle him with the size. You see a fullback couldn't handle him. You see a tackle couldn't handle him. You see Ron Baker, a guard, couldn't handle him. I mean, what do you do? How do you stop this guy? You don't.
One thing about Ron was that he always liked to throw to his right. So, and I'm always coming from the right side, so it's always going to be a blind shot for me. Seems like every time we play him, I always would have at least 2 to 3 picture perfect. You know, he'd be like that, like a Heisman Trophy, and I mean, picture perfect. I'm like, you can't get no better than this. You coming straight down on him, full head of steam. There's nothing a defensive player would want any better than that. And every game, he would give him about 2 or 3 of those.
Boy, I must be a masochist wanting to watch this. You know, there's vintage LT to me. He has a chance to probably make a real big hit, and yet has great presence that goes to strip the ball. He just knows what he's doing. Maybe he took his shots at me, but I think there were times he could have really cleaned my clock, and because of maybe the mutual friendship we had for each other, he just made the play rather than go with the real hard hit. But he was a very, very clean player. The one thing about LT, he was aggressive, hard-hitting, but he was never a cheap shot. LT, you came in the game at the right time. There were a lot of slow, stationary quarterbacks around at the time. The Cunninghams weren't there. The Elways weren't there. The guys that could move around. So thanks to guys like me, you became the star you are.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, hey, if I had about another 27 Ron Jaworskis left in the league, I wouldn't retire for the next 50 years, I'm telling you. That's not right. I'll tell you, he's right there. Look, he made it. Yeah, he sent me through my first couple, 2 or 3 Pro Bowls.
Hey, I didn't send you to all them Pro Bowls. How about the guys that were supposed to block you? They were the ones. Why don't you talk about those guys, not me? They didn't know where that X was. You did.